Palestine, Judea and Samaria, the Palestinian Territories, the home of the occupation. Those are just some of the very many names for arguably the most contentious piece of land within one of the most contentious regions in human history. And after spending some time in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, it's where we're heading next. The road to Bethlehem begins with a short 20-minute bus ride to Checkpoint 300, a name that brings to mind another infamous wall in Berlin. This is where you officially leave Israel, walk through what's been dubbed everything from the security fence to an apartheid wall, and enter Palestine. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to look beyond the politics and not simply frame Palestine and Palestinians within the one-dimensional confines of the conflict, as the world is so often guilty of doing. Because like any place, Palestine is more than what you see in breaking news headlines. Mustafa here sums up what Palestine means to him outside of the conflict.
Palestine is rich with history, archaeology side. It's a place also to visit to learn about the history. We are rich of food, cuisine, hiking. Palestine is nice even far away from the political situation. So Palestine is a place deserved to visit.
You might think tourism is non-existent because of the occupation. But you see, there is this skinny Jewish fellow with a ripped core who supposedly came from Bethlehem, so people travel from around the world to visit. Regrettably, Wissam says most don't stick around to learn about the people who are living there now.
Unfortunately, most of the pilgrims that come to Bethlehem to visit the Church of the Nativity, they come in and go and learn nothing about reality here. And we believe that this is so important that people kind of challenge their stereotypes and learn something about us as Palestinians, because I believe one of the major issues problems that we have Palestinians, that our image is mispresented in the Western media.
In Palestine, the conflict looms in almost every conversation. It's hard to avoid when you're living next to this thing, the world's worst elephant in the room. Many Israelis see the wall as something ranging from a necessary evil to a godsend. But for Palestinians, the wall is radioactive, spreading an illness the closer you are to it. So why not build a hotel? Introducing the Walled-Off Hotel, a secret project that opened in 2017 with the involvement of the elusive artist Banky. Wissam is the hotel manager and has been involved since the beginning.
The idea behind this hotel was to highlight the issue of the wall and to give the opportunity for the visitors that come to Bethlehem to learn something about Palestine and the Palestinians, how we live in our daily life under the occupation. The hotel is, it's a small hotel, but it's more than a hotel. We have a museum, we have an art gallery that people could come and visit every day from 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. We have a museum that talks about daily life under occupation. We have the largest art gallery in Palestine, and also we have the largest collection of original Banky artwork in the whole world at this place. Our hotel sells as a hotel with the worst view. The worse the view is, the more expensive the room becomes.
The hotel's go-to offering is a 2-hour tour of the wall and nearby Aida Refugee Camp, which opened in 1948 with the founding of the State of Israel, or as they call it, the Nakba, the catastrophe that saw the forced expulsion and flight of roughly 700,000 Palestinians from the 78% of then mandatory Palestine that became Israel. Mustafa grew up in the camp and explains why Aida is different from what you might expect.
When we talk about refugee camp, people think that we are going to see tent or shelter or temporary life, but the refugee camp today have been last for more than 75 years, which is enough time for the people to move ahead from the tent to the shelter to the irregular houses that we just saw now.
During our walk through the camp, we meet Mustafa's parents and daughter, who was born in the refugee camp just like her father. I'll admit that I was on the fence about visiting a refugee camp. I wondered if it would be under the umbrella of poverty or slum tourism, but it's clear from the small museum explaining the Nakba and visitor center that they want travelers to come by, hear their story, and share it with people in their country.
Our message for the US, we want more pressure against the US policy in the Middle East, especially the US supporting Israel more than they support any of their states. Israel is an occupation, occupying and stealing our land day by day, and the US is the most fund. The US fund $4 billion every year to Israel. In this camp, we receive tear gas and bullets every day, and all these weapons we see made in the US. I can show it to you now.
much.
Mustafa wasn't kidding. Tear gas canisters made in USA.
What I want people to take when they come and visit here, we want them to rethink of what they have learned about Palestine and the Palestinians and about this conflict. We want them to know that we Palestinians are normal people, that we want to live a normal life like everyone else in this world.
And there it is, the plea that people simply recognize the humanity of the Palestinian people that was a frighteningly common refrain in our short 24-hour stay. Whatever your preconceived notions of the conflict are, it's criminal that any group of people should have to ask for recognition of their humanity as often as Palestinians do both at home and abroad. And that, my friends, isn't taking a position, it's simply being human.
We don't want people to take positions in this conflict because I believe that if you take positions, like especially tough radical positions, you make the conflict bigger and wider, and we don't want this to happen. The idea behind this is to break down the stereotypes and also create a real understanding for the situation and for the Palestinians.